Let's start with your thoughts on the matter. We've been through it from the onset, it happening, disciplinary hearing. Um, the latest being yesterday, the president of the Oxford Union, in the person of Brendan McGrath, resigning officially to the happiness of some and to the dislike of others. What's your take on this as the World Universities Debate Council chair?
Thank you for the opportunity. I think it's an unfortunate incident, and particularly the gentleman involved, knowing him, and for us being mates in Legon, particularly being Vikings as well. The president's resignation, I think, is a welcome news, and I believe that there are still ongoing discussions as to um, what exactly to do to bring closure to this matter. So we are watching keenly to see what will happen. But I believe it's certainly going to bring new reforms within the Oxford Union itself. And for my capacity as the president of the World Council, also, we are taking note to look at how we can make the safe more safer for people with disability and anyone that is interested in the sports of debate.
Would you say that there has been a satisfactory reaction to the matter?
Um, I must say I'll be speaking as a third party, even though Oxford Union is a union that I'm very much concerned with. Um, I think we need to wait to just get the um, outcome of the standing committee's meeting with Mr. Zamati and what they both parties agree with. Then I can be able to make a final comment on whether I've been satisfied with their actions or not. But so far, the resignation is good. It is not only Brendan that's resigned. I think other people too have resigned because they think the space is not safe for them. So that call or that action for me, it's going to engineer some sort of change which is positive and which all of us would embrace when the time comes.
Do you think enough attention has been given to the matter?
Um, I think so. Because the standing committee obviously have met with Mr. Zamati, and initially the president did file some charges against Mr. Zamati, and I think due to he coming to understand what the situation is, decided to withdraw it and subsequently resigned. So yes, but I think more can be done, and we will wait patiently for whatever procedure they are applying to come to um, a definite conclusion on what the matter should be.
What is your response to the cluster of Ghanaians and people across the world calling for active prosecution of the guards in question?
I think it's a call in order, but it's a call in order. Yeah, it's a call in order.
It's a call in order. So you say you would also support prosecution of these guards?
I support due process.
And by due process here, you mean?
Um, People given hearing, the rules applying, and if anyone is found guilty of anything, the person should be held accountable.
Let's talk about the state of disabled people and their treatment, particularly even in our university communities in Ghana here. Do you think it is right? Many are claiming that Ghanaians are crying foul too much because in our system we do worse. It's only been much talk about it is being done because this is in a foreign territory. What's your take on this, per your experience being a student and, of course, being a student leader for some time?
Um, with respect to disability, I know the University of Ghana over the years have issued or made efforts to make the environment safe for students with disability, and I did witness how Mr. Azamati himself and others on campus were assisted by fellow students and also had an office for disability people on campus. I do think that more can be done, particularly with the creation of safe environment for them so that they can be able to flourish in whichever area they decide to engage in. But that will need some expert opinion. So I think that people with expertise in disability should really be engaged in looking at how best you can create policies to make the world a better place for all, whether disability or not, because I strongly believe disability is not inability, and that if someone is disabled in any way, the person can contribute to the growth of the world or development of the world some other way.
Can Ghanaians do better, in your opinion, in using the same energies to address how we treat disabled in our society here?
Um, I won't speak for Ghanaian, but I think that society can do better. I really genuinely believe that society can do better, right from the national level to institutional level and to even our homes, which is the basic unit of socialization for anyone. I think we can certainly do better for our brothers and sisters with disabilities. So this certainly should be a wake-up call for all of us. And in my capacity as president of the World University Debate Council, too, it's also a wake-up call for us because I did receive some emails from some universities asking about what the policy of disability is, and I have to ask around and search the file. We don't. So one of the things I'm going to add at this year's council at Thailand is for us, aside the inclusion of economically disadvantaged people, is to look at how we can broaden the scope to have a policy or standing policy for this, to create a safe environment for people with disability at the world level of debate. And certainly I would definitely rely on the expertise of people that have knowledge in that area to help formulate such policy.
And as chairman and of course your leadership right here at Legon, are there any steps that are being taken or any calls you would have for the sport to go beyond the sport in being adding the humane element? Many are complaining of the fact that many debaters looked on as this Ms. Azamati was being maltreated. What's your take on that? How can we do better?
Um, hmm. I think it's a difficult question, particularly having to respond to people's reaction to things. I wasn't there in that particular instance to know why they looked on or to understand why they looked on, but I think it's unfortunate. I think at least their humanity should have set in to at least acted, knowing the situation Mr. Zamati finds himself. But Nana, I just think that we have to do better as human beings. It's actually a humanity problem. Empathy is lost on us, and I think that as a sports and as individuals and as debate enthusiasts, we should really have that core in our dealings that we need to be empathetic, irrespective of who, whether male, female, gender, or whatever it is. We should be able to appreciate the situation when we find ourselves in it.
Any recommendations going forward?
I think that the Oxford Union, even though it's independent of the Oxford University itself, the resignation of the president is in order, and I think before he even stepped out aside, he has set up some reforms to training of their guards and also making the disability policy public and all. I think these are things that are welcome, even though the incidents obviously have been condemned, and I am happy he admitted that it's an unfortunate incident and he is part of his shortcomings. I think that we should be able to appreciate that. And for Mr. Zameti, I believe that he will be able to find strength to forge ahead. That the incidents will certainly not break him. I know he's a very strong character, having dealt with him in Sawa. So yes, we just need to be empathetic and need to know that we are human beings, and that is the most important thing.